So the investor in me just has to ask. So you've done this detailed analysis about what are the things that you would learn from seed investings, in a whole wide variety of interesting things, whether it's the, awesome Toby Lutka and Shopify to Brian Chesky and Airbnb. And so what are those tips that you might offer without asking too much secret sauce from, one VC to another one?
I'd say that the first thing that I've noticed is that you can't get too attached to the product for what it is being the right product. And so time and again, the product that ends up winning is not the product that you see when you're doing a seed investment. Yeah, that was true of Twitter. It was true of Twitch. It was true of Lyft. I'd say that the first major secret that I learned is that a great founder with a great insight that harnesses inflections has a first mover advantage into the future. And even if they're wrong about their initial implementation, they have the opportunity, because they're learning from other people in the future, to navigate the insight to the right product idea. Where does that lead you? It leads you down a path of saying, what matters more is, are they a more authentic fit to the future that they're pursuing? Are they more likely to notice things that others won't notice? Are they more likely to persuade people to be early believers in what they're doing? Those things matter more than the features and benefits, and are they landing right now with the product? That's different in later stages. But I think in the early stage, in the seed stage, before there's any data, I think you're investing in two things: the power of the insight and the capabilities of the founders and the authentic fit that they have to that future.
Yep. By the way, one of the things you're reminding me of, you may know this quote too, but one of my favorite quotes from a science fiction author, William Gibson, is the future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed.
Yes.
And obviously, partially you're looking, that insight is you're looking for the founder that's on the insight of the future's already here, just unevenly distributed.
That's what I find is, like, most people have the wrong idea about what vision is. They think vision is having better binoculars and seeing farther, right? But it's not. It's more like, I'm getting my hands dirty in what's new about the future. I'm living in the future before other people do. And this is why I called the book Pattern Breakers, is that, like, I see firsthand the new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting afforded by these inflections that will now allow me to convert the prior pattern of doing things into a new pattern.
And say a little bit more, because this is one of the things I really liked. I mean, one of the funny things is you and I both know a bunch of VCs in Silicon Valley who are like, I'm a pattern matcher, and I actually prefer your jujitsu of turned a pattern breaker.
Okay.
Because I think that's the kind of, part of living in the future.
Yes.
Say a little bit more about kind of pattern matchers and pattern breakers as a mindset.
Yes.
So that, what does adopting the mindset look like?
The human mind is a pattern matching system. And it's a good thing that it is, because it's the thing that told us when you hear a saber-toothed tiger roar to run the other way, or, when it's really cold outside, get inside the cave. There are things that you want to do for your survival. So pattern matching isn't bad. The problem, though, is that, like all things with a pattern, it introduces a bias. And so, the problem with pattern matching is you don't see the thing right in front of you. Most people, when they saw the iPhone 4S, didn't realize that the thing in their hand or in their pockets could change the future, but the Lyft guys and the Uber guys did. And so most of us think it's not going to change. They don't see anything. And so the pattern breaker says, if I'm going to succeed as a business person and I'm an entrepreneur and I want to create a breakthrough, I have to break the pattern. Because humans are creatures of habit, and humans who are creatures of habit are going to consume from the incumbents, and they're going to buy into the rules of the incumbency. And so I have to break the pattern in order to escape the gravitational pull of the present, right? I have to do that by definition. If I don't do that, I'm failing to uphold a key part of my job description as a founder. And so I like to say great startups have to force a choice and not a comparison. I've got to have a startup idea that can't be reconciled with anything that's come before. Because if everybody likes your startup idea, that means it's too much like what's already there, which means it's not radical enough. And so you want an idea that, like, polarizes people, that's terrible to most people or not so good, but a few people are like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? This is amazing, right? And so to me, that's what a pattern breaking idea feels like.